So guys, we wake up this morning and it is, circulating on the social media right now that the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, is now calling His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to come into his aid because, he cannot hold it. And
others to understand. This time around, we will be saying we want to work together. Work with us, and I'm rather pleased that President Mahama of Ghana has been saying he would like to make a call on other African countries to work with South Africa. And that is precisely what has triggered our intention to send envoys so that they can go and explain the type of initiatives, type of programs that we are going to embark upon. Because in the end, this is an African problem.
No one from Africa will support you. No one from Africa will stand by you. Don't you understand what is happening in your country?
What shocked me is that all this while Ramaphosa has been silent and he's not saying anything concerning what his fellow South Africans are doing to other African brothers and sisters. Now, the question which a lot of people is asking is that why was he silent even when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was evacuating his people to Ghana?
It's not only a South African problem. We are all involved in this. There's various countries on the continent that experience precisely what we are going through. Now, because of the social challenges that our people are facing, challenges of security, challenges of the delivery of services, as well as unemployment, it brings a lot of pressure on our people, which we understand very, very well. So therefore, it needs all of us as South Africans, as those who are coming to our country, either documented or undocumented, as well as other countries, so that we work together. This is an African problem that requires African solutions.
Dear Mr. President, with all undue respect, we don't want to work with you. Yes, we don't want to work with South Africans. As a matter of fact, South Africans have been expelled from Africa. You are just here by virtue of the map. We don't want you. We don't want to associate with you. We don't even like you anymore. You are not part of us. You can trade with the Westerners, or you can even trade with your white South Africans. We don't need you anymore. So please stop begging, because you've been silent all this while. All the while, all African countries have been humiliated, beaten, and their livelihood taken out.
Not once, not two, and even as I speak right now, Ghana ambassador to South Africa yesterday,
fellow Ghanaians,
they came out saying that the third batch is about to come, so they are on their preparation, making sure that everybody will be safe, so that they will be moved to Ghana. But we wake up this morning, Ramaphosa is appealing to all leaders of Africans to come into his aid.
This video is direct to the president of South Africa and that useless prostitute Jacinta and that the other bastard with HIV who don't have English name. Tomorrow is June 30th. The whole world is watching. We are watching. The internet will be busy tomorrow. If anything here happen to any Nigerian citizen in South Africa tomorrow, we promise you there's going to be war. There's going to be bullet for bullet, and there's going to be man to man. There's going to be machete for machete. South Africa, you are one tomorrow 30th. You, this incompetent president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, if you don't comport yourself tomorrow, if you don't tell those hooligans, those vagabonds, those thugs that you put on the seat of South Africa to behave themselves, tomorrow, June 30, you kill any Nigerian citizen again. You will see. It's a promise.
Today is 30th of June. Abraham Bay. Yes, you must go back to your country and fix your country. Our forefathers, they fought for this country. We are not where we are today by running to other people's country. Nelson Mandela was jailed for this country. Everything we have achieved today, we achieved it because our forefathers, they stayed, they fought, and they died. My African brothers and sisters, a standing ovation for the forefathers of South Africans, and a round of an applause for the forefathers of South Africans for fighting more than the forefathers of every other African country. Ladies and gentlemen, May we all please be seated as we start today's lecture. It amazes me or amuses me when I see people saying our forefathers fought for what we have today. Tell me, which African country did their forefathers not fight? Every African country went through hell in the hands of their colonizers. Yes, some African countries, they are more developed than the others because of colonization history. This is a truth you've refused to tell yourselves. South Africa was first colonized by Dutch, later the British. They discovered enormous minerals like the gold and the diamond. And because they wanted to extract and export these minerals efficiently, they invested heavily in roads, deep water ports, railway, and also electricity to power mines and industries. So my South African brothers and sisters, this has nothing to do with your forefathers fighting for the country. That is why you are developed the way that you are developed. It is only because of colonization history. You will agree that South Africa started experiencing democracy in 1994 after the fall of apartheid. Now let us look at something, guys. I am not saying whatever I am saying to discredit the fights or the efforts of your forefathers, ne? But we must say the truth the way it is. Your development has got nothing to do with your forefathers. By right, if it has anything to do with your forefathers, there should be greater establishment infrastructure that came after 1994. But just look at these guys. Kruger's National Park, established in 1926. University of Pretoria, founded in 1908. University of Cape Town, 1829. Chris Hani Baragwani Academic Hospital, 1940. Charlotte Mackay Johannesburg Academic Hospital, 1979. Groote Schuur Hospital, 1938. All of this happened during the colonial era and the apartheid regime. So please, Ganja, how is your development linked to your forefathers fighting for your country? Please let me know. Even though the hospitals and the schools were not built to serve black South Africans during apartheid and colonial era, but you are not going to take away the fact that South Africa inherited extensive infrastructure from the colonial and the apartheid era. Yes, apartheid failed, even though Jacinta said Uti other Africans must go and take their money from Nelson Mandela. But she would never admit the fact that those infrastructures came from those colonial and apartheid era. So it has nothing to do with your ancestors fighting. So when next you try to laugh at other African countries for not being as developed as South Africa, you must know you inherited those things from your colonial and apartheid masters. In a nutshell, most African countries are underdeveloped because their colonizers did not find as much resources as they found in South Africa. So they did not invest much, knowing that investing there would mean bad business, investing where you cannot make double of what you've invested.
Hello, my dear brother and sister from South Africa. This message is for you. You need to stop what is going on in South Africa, because you know what will happen? They will try to cut you away from your brother and sister from Africa, so that when they will come and oppress you again, like they did in the past, no one from Africa will support you. No one from Africa will stand by you. Don't you understand what is happening in your country? Don't you understand? They manipulate you, turning you against your own blood, against other African people, so that when they will come for you, no one will be there for you. None of your African brother will be there for you. You saw with your own eyes what happened when you were eliminated from the World Cup. All African club, we were happy to see you out of the World Cup. It shouldn't be that way. This should open your eyes. This should make you understand what is happening. Yes, never turn yourself to people that helped you yesterday when you were down. We stand by you. I remember we were just children at that time. We used to go out to protest against apartheid in our own country without even knowing where South Africa was. But we knew that we had brothers and sisters somewhere that were suffering because of discrimination. We fight for you. And today you turn your back against us. They are pushing you, they are helping you to hate us. So that tomorrow, when they will come for you, we won't be there for you. You know why Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso is protected? Because they know that all Africans are behind him. And if they try what they did with other leaders, we will stand up. So be wise, think twice before doing what you are planning to do to your fellow Africans. Africans cannot be foreigners in Africa. Do you get this? African cannot be foreigners in Africa. Don't be stupid. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, forget it. And let's see what will happen later on. Maybe in 5-10 years. Okay? Take care of yourself and stop what you are doing in South Africa.
Your sports minister, Gator Mackenzie, who has been jailed. What was he jailed for? His campaign message since the party was formed was Apahambe. What is the meaning of Apahambe? Apahambe means that foreigners should go. And this man led people to go attack black immigrants in South Africa. This is the person you have as a, how do you call it, sports minister now. These are the people that Ramaphosa choose to form his alliance government in South Africa. Your problem is deeper than black Africans in South Africa. So my fellow South Africans, read your South Africa history, know where you are coming from, know who is leading you, who is causing the problem you are in before you attack. Your president, Ramaphosa, is not even seeing what you are doing, because he went on national television gaslighting us, telling it to our face that there's no xenophobia attack in South Africa. Do you really have president? He's not seeing what you are doing. So in the 1920s, government then realized that there was a lot of white South Africans that are very poor. So the church were embarrassed. The Americans were embarrassed. All the white people were embarrassed. What have they done? They sent people to go and research and find out why the white South Africans are very poor. And after the research, they come up with ideas, with structures, systems to take the white South Africans out of poverty. That is what your government need to do now. System in place to take you out of poverty. Otherwise, you're going to be there for long, even after the Africans have left your country. So you got to put pressure on your president to put up a system to liberate you from poverty. Ghanaians, Nigerians, Zimbabweans, or whatever, they are not your problem. Your problem is a systematic problem. There's a lot of learned South Africans who they read and they understand, they know about Pan-Africanism. They see the need of Africa coming together. I think the Ghana president, my president, President John Dramani Mahama, has done very, very well by getting his people out of South Africa. Whatever the South Africa president is saying, he doesn't know. He doesn't understand what is going on. When John Dramani Mahama becomes the African Union chairman next year, he will make sure that South Africa pay for what they did and let them understand that where Africa wants to go, the unity that Africa is fighting for, that is not the way.
iy'ngane zakwethu odadewethu bahlele emakhaya mawuthi uyahamba emafemini kugcwele abantu bangaphandle emafemini bayasebenza ngenxa yokuthi bamukela nomliphi isente ngoba thina esihlala la eSouth Africa asuwamukela udode ufuseka lihambe ishanga lekubi khona insizwe esuka phansi eDurban khona insizwe esuka eThekwini cabanga ukuthi kuzodala la hayi wahamba wabuyele kwela mayehluleka wabuyele eMozambique akusowashaya-ke njalo hayi makuba nenkinga njengamanje sawacacisa bahambe basaqhubeka basahleli bahambe
Around 5,000 people are gathered in Limpopo, running away, looking for a place of safety because they are terrified of the black South Africans who have hunted down black African migrants. So they are begging to be taken to a place of safety because they're very fearful. Particularly the Zulus are out with their knives and clubs and spears, like as though this was 1700s. And they have terrified all these people. They're huddled together and they're looking for a safe passage. And the government of South Africa, you should hang your head in shame. This is a terrible moment for you. To do this to people, innocent people, even if they were undocumented migrants. Do you not have laws? Do you not have police that can actually deal with law and order? You have left it to mobs to terrorize people. This is such a shame. And the South African government, it will take you a very, 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 very long time to recover from all of this because you should be ashamed of yourself.
We encourage, we encourage all the shops to open because we just went to a Jabulani Mall. We went inside there. Everybody was happy. The manager of the center was happy. He even spoke to us. Nothing broke. So the politicians must stop sending people to dig roads. Politicians must stop to send people to ban libraries and schools and malls and all these things and police stations and attack police. Politicians must stop that nonsense because you can see 10,000, more than 10,000 people. They could have done something. These police are too small the number of police is too small to contain this number of people. But they did not do that because people don't do those things. It is politicians who send people to go do the wrong things. We are here now. We are leading these people. We are going to make sure that we project our South Africans as sensible people, as responsible people, as law-abiding people. And that's why they gave us all these names, vigilantes, xenophobia, and they all failed dismally. You know, even those that came with the trying to cause war in South Africa, saying we are funded by Israel, they were lying. Israel can't fund us because we don't believe in that nonsense that they are doing there. So we can't take money from Muslims, we can't take it from Israel, we can't take it from anyone, we can't take it from our own black people if the motive is not right. We want people who are going to fund this thing, they must fund the cause and they must stay away from it. If you are a politician, you want to put money in this thing, put money in this thing and stay away because we will never, ever, ever promote your party. We want to promote South Africans. This time, South Africans are going to win. This time, this constitution, the incoming constitution of this country is going to be written by these people here. Not the constitution that is beautiful in America, but it's not